Welcome to another episode of Gun Hunter U.K. Something a little bit different for you today. I'm going to be doing a review and I just want to explain how the review come about. So firstly, I'll hold it up to the camera. This is what I'm going to be reviewing. So this is the OneLeaf Commander NV 100 night vision add-on. Clips onto the back of your scope for day and night use. So how this come about is I was contacted through Gun Hunter U.K. to my email by a fella called Jason, who said that he's bringing a new thing to market, which is this, and asked me if I'd be willing to, or if I'd like to try it and review it. So I was very sceptical at first. I get offered these reviews more than you'd imagine. I get offered them quite a lot, to be fair, and there's a lot of different things attached to the reviews. A lot of people put little clauses in and bits and pieces, whereas it's not an honest review. They send you something and they want you to do it via marketing rather than a review. They want you to say nice things about their product so they can use it for marketing. It's not really a review if you're going to do that. It's marketing. So I went back and forth with Jason, spoke to him a little bit. I'd done a little bit of home research on this, YouTube and Google and whatnot, and I thought it's got some genuine potential, so I was interested from the off, but I wanted to speak to Jason a bit more because I don't like doing things if it's not going to be true and honest. I'm a shooter. First and foremost, I'm a shooter. I've got all my stuff here. I go out every week. I'm a shooter. So I'm not going to come on and say, spend your money on this because it's brilliant, when it's a bag of crap. So I don't want to do that. So 99% of the time when people get in touch with me and say, do you want to do a review? I end up turning it down. I do it loads more than you'd imagine. So I turn them down anyway. With this one, I went back and forth with Jason a little bit on email, and I says, like, what do you want from me? What do you want in way of a review? Are there any stipulations, etc., etc.? So Jason come back and he says, listen, send me your address. I'll send you a unit. Try it. He says, don't give me anything. You know, I'm not going to lie, this was free to me during the review. But Jason did not only say nice things about my unit. Jason said, send me your address. I'll send you the unit. I've seen what you do on your channel. I like it. And do a review. Put it out there. I genuinely don't think the idea of anything negative about this unit entered his head because he believes in it that much. So he sold me straight away. He sold me. I sent my address. He sent me the unit, and this is going to be the review. But I just wanted to explain to you, yes, it is free. There's no getting around that. You know, people say you're doing a review, but you're getting that for free. Yes, it is free, but I have done my homework on it. I'm a shooter. I'm not going to tell you to spend money on something if it's crap. I'm not. That's not me. I don't want to do that. I set this channel up for a bit of fun for myself, and now and then it comes, you know, it works out to be a bit lucrative for myself or whatever, but I'm not going to try and mislead you, and I just wanted to get that in before I started the review. Right then, let's get down to it. Let's open the box and let's see what you get. Excuse me. So the first thing you get is, sorry, other way up, just a little note reminding you to remove the tab off the battery that's in the unit. It's a 18650 battery, it's in the unit, and you need to remove the tab that they put on there so it doesn't contact during transport. You get a lens cover, a lens cloth, and you get a very comprehensive and easy to read instruction booklet, which none of the fellas will read. We'll throw it to one side. All of the ladies will read, and they'll know how to use it way before we do. It comes very secure in this box with polystyrene lining, so it will keep it nice and safe during transport. You get a couple of Allen keys and a couple of O-rings. You get a USB lead. Now this lead can be used with a PC to allow you to transfer data from the unit, but it can also be used to charge the battery whilst the battery is in the unit. If you choose not to take it out, leave it in the unit, connect it and charge it. But it can also be used to connect an external power bank to the unit for longer run times. Now, I'll chuck that to one side there. OneLeaf claim that out of a single 18650 battery supplied with the unit, you'll get up to 6 hours runtime. Now, I can tell you hand on heart, I didn't get this amount of runtime out of the battery. That being said though, if you use the standby function, once the unit's turned on, a short press of the power button will put it in standby rather than turn it off. If you use the standby function like I do, I got approximately 3.5 hours out of the one battery. So that's very respectable anyway. But I will point out, they claim 6 hours. I didn't get 6 hours. So you also get a suede softline bag for storing the unit when it's not on the rifle, keeping it nice and pristine. You also get a rubber eye cap, or a spare rubber eye cap. This one's slightly longer than the one that's already on the unit. I prefer the one that's on the unit itself. You get some black tape, electrician tape, which I'll explain shortly. And in my pack, I've got 3 collars. I've got a 42mm collar, 45mm collar, and 48mm collar. Sorry about that. If you do choose to purchase one of these, you will have to choose on a drop-down menu, which I'll show you now, 42, 45 or 48 to best fit your scope. You don't get all 3. Right, moving along. We'll just move that box out of the way slightly. We've got the unit itself. Now, I'm hoping you can see there's a little button there. It's a retractable button, so you pull it down towards yourself and you twist and the collar comes off. That's how you fit it to the scope. So once the collar's on the scope, you line that up, twist it, and that's how it fits to the scope. So we'll remove that and put that to one side for a minute. The unit itself, as best I can tell, it's made out of a moulded plastic and machined aluminium. It's very, very well built. There's no marks on it from manufacturing marks or machining marks. It's absolute pristine condition. It's very well built. There's no gaps. You can see everything's filled in lovely. And all the screws etc. are where they're meant to be, and it appears really well built. It's lovely. Everything aligns up perfectly. You've got the diopter focus at the rear. It's stiff to turn, but it's not too stiff. It turns gorgeously. So the diopter focus, that allows you to focus your eye, which looks in here at the screen, to the screen. When you initialize a unit for the first time, I'll put the picture up here quickly for you to see, but it comes up with a patterned image. So you look through there, you see the patterned image, and you move this diopter focus until you can see that image perfectly. It brings it into focus to your eye. You then set the date, time, etc., and the unit springs into life. Forward of the diopter focus, we have another little focus ring. I'm hoping you can see that turning. So this is the lens focus. Once you put that on your rifle, you can see the screen perfectly. You need to focus the unit ever so closely to the crosshair. So this forward adjustment here allows you to focus the unit to your crosshair. With built-in IR, it's 850 nanometer, which is my preferred wavelength. It's fantastic on this unit. You can pull the IR out to spot the beam or push it back to flood the beam. Just underneath that we have a cap on here, and that's your battery compartment for the single battery, as I've already mentioned. On this side we've a rubber cover. Underneath this rubber cover we have a jack point for earphones, so you can listen to the footage on the unit during playback. We also have a micro USB port, which I've already covered. The last thing we have in here is an SD card port, or a mini micro SD card port. So the unit has an onboard DVR which records to this micro USB. I'm using a 32GB class 10 SD card. However, OneLeaf say you can safely use up to a 256GB card in there. I don't own a 256GB card, so I can't try it, but I can tell you it records perfectly to my 32GB card. The playback footage, which I'll show you in a little bit, is absolutely amazing. The unit records in H.265 format, so produces .ts files. Personally, I've not any issue with this. I use Power Director to play with my videos, and it works great in there. It's got a 16mm lens. It's got fantastic optics, really good glass in there. Underneath, we've got a tripod mount. So if you want to use it as a spotter, you can just put it on a tripod. Holds it nice and firm. And there you go. That's the main overview of the unit. It's very tidy. It's very well made. It feels really good. Button configuration is there. I'll pop a little picture up which shows you what does what. But I've been playing with it for a week now, and I've found these buttons to be absolutely fantastic. Can find them in the dark. I can play it like a piano. It's brilliant. So that's the overview of the unit. We'll get down to a little bit of footage now, and I'll try and show you the capabilities of this unit. I might even find the limits of this unit. We'll see. OneLeaf claim this IR is good for just over 300 yards. I tell you now, I honestly believe it. I probably won't get close to that because I'm using a 14x44 scope. But if you've got a bigger scope, I genuinely believe that IR will reach 300 yards. It's absolutely fantastic. Using the buttons on the back, it's got 6 levels of illumination, so you can have it on 1 which is the lowest and 6 which is its highest. But honestly, I've been playing with it for a week. I can't fault it. I think it's amazing so far. It has got one tiny negative, and I'll show you that at the end. But yeah, so far it's a massive thumbs up. I'm loving this unit, so we'll see. Okay then, fitting the unit to the scope. So let's zoom in on there. And I told you we'd come back to the electric tape. Now this is what's provided to fit the unit to your scope. So you've chosen either the 42, the 45 or the 48, which best fits your scope. However, there's always going to be a little bit of play in it. So what you're meant to do is, using said electrical tape, wind it round here and pack the area out in between the collar and the scope, thus protecting your scope from scratches, but it also provides that packing for this to clamp down on so it's nice and tight. Now, all the providers of rear mounted night vision add-ons, or 99% of them, provide tape. It's not an idea that I like. I like to get mine bang central. So what I do, I mean, I'm lucky. I've got a 3D printer and I designed some shims. Now this shim is bespoke to this scope. As you can see, it slots over there, and now this is 45mm. So that shim's on there. We offer it up to the collar, a little bit of jiggling and whatnot just to get it in there properly. The shim slides nicely into the collar, as you can see, and then you just clamp it down and it's rock solid. Before you clamp it down, offer your unit up to it, turn it on and rotate it to align your crosshairs. Your crosshairs have to be aligned, so rotate it, find the centre, align it correctly, then clamp these down. Once they're clamped down, the colour stays on there and you can use the scope during the daytime without any night vision whatsoever. As soon as you want to turn it into night vision, just clamp that on and away you go. And that's how it connects to your scope. So now we come to the footage part of the review. Now, I didn't want to just strap the unit onto a scope, go into a field and shine it all around and tell you that's 30 yards, that's 40 yards, that's 50 yards. I wanted to do it in a controlled fashion so you can actually see what the unit is capable of. I was struggling with how to do this really. I'd come up with a few ideas, but then I did come up with I think it's a pretty good idea, to be fair. I needed the help of my friends to do it, so I've reached out to one of the channel sponsors over at the Ratworks, the Regulating and Tuning Workshop. I don't know if you know or not, but obviously they tune and regulate rifles, but they also have a little shop on their website. One of the newest products they do is plyboard reactive targets. So I come up with this idea. A couple of messages later, we'd come up with a design between us, and I've just unboxed them, and this is what I've come up with, or we've come up with together. So we've got range markers from 10 to 100 yards. You could do it in meters as well, I suppose, but we've got 10 to 100. On there, I've just added, I'm hoping you can see it on each target, I've just added a little reflector, which is going to help at night time. Now the heads on these, I'm going to show you a 4" by 4", which is very respectable size. So yeah, I'm going to take them out. I'm going to use the rangefinder to actually put them in the correct positions. I'll show you that as well, so you can see that there's no tomfoolery going on. And then we'll shoot it in the day. We'll have a look at them, and then we'll shoot it at night time and have a look at them. And hopefully this is going to give you a better understanding of the unit's proper capabilities. Right then, we've got the range markers out from 10 to 100 yards, so we can see the capabilities of the OneLeaf Commander NV 100 night vision add-on. That hasn't got a stud on the bottom, so I can't mount it, so bear with me, this is going to be shaky, but I'm doing this unedited to try and prove to you that I'm not fudging results. It's quite difficult to get it lined up properly and hold properly, so just bear with me for a second. There you go. Right, we're out doing some range footage with the OneLeaf. You can see the range markers there. Now earlier in the review I told you there was a very minor negative about this unit. Now when I'm shooting through this unit, on playback it sounds like I'm having a heart attack, and that's because the microphone's there and it's very sensitive. It's to the point I've had to put music over it. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of electrical tape over there like that, wrap it round, and I'm going to try that. But that's the only real negative that I've got, and that's a personal thing. Some people it won't bother, but it's bothering me. It sounds like I'm having a cardiac arrest every time I listen to some playback. So what do I think to this unit? Genuinely, hand on heart, I think it's a fantastic unit. It's very high spec. I genuinely think that. It's very well made. The button layout is so easy to use. The IR is fantastic. The menu is very comprehensive. It's got great optics on it. It's a fantastic unit, and when you consider that this comes in at $299, which is £220, I think it's unbeatable. I don't think there's anything out there on the market that can beat it for that price. However, if you chose to buy one of these and you got in touch with Jason at OneLeaf and quoted Gun Hunter UK, you can get a further 10% off that price, which brings it in under £200, which is an outstanding price for this unit. I genuinely, wholeheartedly think this unit is well worth it, and I think if you bought one, you wouldn't be disappointed in that. So if you are interested, have a look in the description on this video. I'll put all the links on there that you need, and thank you very much for watching and supporting us.